As soon as I found out it had a locking mechanism and a pocket clip, I was sold. This guy is very, very illegal in a lot of places. The fact that the only way to really deploy this guy is with gravity itself. Hello and what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Miguel EDC, where we talk everything EDC gear here. My name is Miguel, and today we're going to be talking about this guy right here, the Reate EXO-M. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, and you know exactly what we're talking about here. I got a chance to unbox this guy a couple of weeks ago in the channel. I have been having a chance to EDC this guy non-stop over the last couple of weeks, and it's about time. It's about time, because this guy has not left my pocket this entire time. I have prioritized EDC in this guy, and honestly, I also found it hard to put it down. I also found it hard to replace this guy in my pocket for so long. I'm trying to get into a rotation here with a couple other knives that I'm trying to review as well. So it was time for this guy to kind of give up its place for some other knives. But man, I find it so difficult because this is such a solid, good looking, awesome knife in so many different ways. I can't wait to get into it with you guys. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. What are we working with right here? Let's get into it. So we have a full titanium construction on this guy all around. We're going to talk more about that. We have a micarta black inserts right here as well. And of course, this guy is a gravity knife, which is very legal in a lot of places. We're going to talk more about that as the video progresses, as we get into more and more details about this guy. But yes, this is a full-on gravity knife. Good thing about this one is that it has a locking mechanism, right? This mechanism right here is really good. It makes a huge difference compared to the OG Exoskeleton from Reate. It's a much larger knife which didn't have the locking mechanism. And without further ado, let's go ahead and show you guys the action on this guy. It sounds something like this. You all ready? Here we go. This guy is in CPM 3V. It's a pretty good entry level to the super steels, if you will. It is my very first CPM 3V blade, I can tell you that. And based on what I researched, CPM 3V offers a good hardness, toughness, and wear resistance, which is pretty good. Might be a little bit challenging later down the road when I have to resharpen this guy. We'll see about that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, as far as the steel, pretty good. Corrosion resistant, even though it's not fully stainless steel. It has some semi-stainless characteristics to it, which are pretty good, so it helps with corrosion quite a bit. And overall, as you would expect, better than D2, no doubt about that. All right, could they have probably dropped this guy on, let's say, like a 20 CV or M390 steel for the price? Probably, right? Probably in one of those options would have been very nice. But hey, with 3V, I'm not complaining. And it also has a Stonewashed finish, which kind of goes pretty good along with the whole titanium color. It kind of blends in pretty good, and it kind of adds into the aesthetics quite a bit, making the overall knife as a whole. I mean, this is one sexy, one really good looking knife right here. So let's talk about the fact that this is a gravity knife. So yeah, this guy is very illegal in a lot of places. The fact that the only way to really deploy this guy is with gravity itself. I guess you could manually, you know, with two hands, put your finger here and do that. But who's gonna do that, right? Obviously, you're gonna want to use gravity to open, right? And then once the full blade comes out, then this piece right here of the handle is going to hold it in place right there, right? Like that. And then when you want to close the blade, simply move this piece out of the way as well, and then gravity does the rest. Just like that, right? Which is pretty sweet. There's two things that I want to talk about this guy mainly. One that I really like, one that is maybe a gripe. So I really like the locking mechanism, right? It not only does it get the job done, not only does it do what it's supposed to do, also it's so satisfying to slide this back and forth, right? Reate just nailed that. Let me see if the mic can pick that up. It's like such a solid sound to it, right? So it's unlocked, you have a clear image to know exactly when it's unlocked and when it's locked versus just knowing up and down which one each is. So that's pretty nice that they printed that. But when it's unlocked, you can clearly see right over here the path that the clip rides on. The second it's closed, you slide the lock forward, and yeah, definitely locks it closed. And by the way, for record purposes, that is pretty locked right there. That is not going anywhere once it's locked. There's a little bit of sound because obviously the nature of the knife and how it has to slide and such. But yeah, that is not opening at any moment. And then the second you unlock, you can go about your opening function and then be able to lock that blade out for whatever use. Same deal, you know, on the return, which is pretty nice, right? The one thing I don't necessarily like for this price point, I mean, we're talking about a $285 knife, almost $300, I'd say, with taxes. Yeah, it was definitely over $300 for sure. It's the fact that yeah, it does have a pocket clip, which is nice for a gravity knife like this one. However, the actual screw that they use, as you can see, is not a recessed screw. Take a look at that. For comparison purposes, let me show you this CJRB pyrite. On the pocket clip right here, you can see the screws are recessed because they go all the way in. The head of the screw is not sticking out in any way, shape, or form. Here it is next to the Reate knife. Again, this is like a $60 knife. This is a $300 knife. And yeah, Reate, I'm sorry to say, sort of kind of missed the ball on this one, right? Very simple to do a pocket clip. So many great pocket clips out there. You know, you could have made that screw recess, right? That would have helped when putting it in and out of the pocket, make sure it goes in all the way. So with that small gripe out of the way, it is a deep carry pocket clip, which is nice. So that means the whole knife is going to be well hidden, concealed away in your pocket, which is nice. None of it is going to be showing. For such a boxy looking knife, as far as what it looks like when it's closed, I sort of would have liked a perhaps better looking pocket clip here, one that would have kind of been, you know, more fitting to the overall design. It kind of looks very generic, to say the least, when put against such a good looking knife. You know, when you really look at this thing all throughout, you admire the detail. It is such a great, sexy, good looking knife. And then the pocket clip, it's just so generic. It gets the job done, right? I like that they didn't make it longer than it needed to, but it just looks so generic when, you know, next to such an elegant design. You do have some really good jimping going on right here at the top, which is very nice, and texture. I talked about that during the unboxing. So yeah, when you're doing your cuts, right, you run your thumb through there. Your thumb is not moving anywhere just because of how much grip you get with that kind of cross line pattern design right there, which is very nice. The ergos, right? How are the ergos on this guy, right? Despite being all squared and whatnot, I want to say when you grip this guy, it is an absolute very, very comfortable knife. Absolutely very comfortable knife to hold. No doubt about that. You could hold it this way and make your forward cuts, make your backwards cuts. If you wanted to turn it around, right, 180 degrees, right, you could definitely do that. It still feels just as comfortable. I have medium hands, not too big, not too small. There's plenty of room right there when holding the knife. And as you can see, there's even extra space for folks with larger hands. Of course, this wouldn't be a review video if we don't go ahead and do a quick paper cutting test. You guys already know how we do it in the channel. This guy came out of the box about 3 weeks ago or so, if not longer, and I've been EDCing it since non-stop. So chances are it being CPM 3V has retained a really good edge. So in case you haven't seen the unboxing, or just to give you a quick reference, here we go. Let's do some quick cutting. Let me know in the comments on a scale from 1 to 10 how sharp this guy is. Here we go. Bam. All right, kind of tore a little bit on that end right there. And again, I'm using the right side forward blade right there. It tore a little bit right there. Let me turn it around for a second. All right, yeah, definitely cutting right there, no doubt about that. Oh, a little bit of a tear right there. Does this guy need to be resharpened or stropped? You guys let me know in the comments. I think there's a point here where it's actually catching. Yeah, there's a point there where it catches for some reason. How strong is the blade here when closed, right? Listen to that. You do have a little bit of play on the blade right there, right? But again, it's not that much. Very similar to, let's say, a Microtech OTF. But yeah, other than that, that is not going anywhere. This guy is solid. When this guy is closed and locked, that blade is going nowhere. That is a rock solid, arguably a fixed blade at that point. All right, needless to say, did I mention that this guy was fidgety, right? In case I didn't mention that already, or in case you didn't know that by now, this guy is one of the most fidgety knives out there. Just that sound alone, right? It can definitely drive your spouse crazy. I know my wife's about to like choke me after just hearing this knife open and close and deploy and close so many times. But yeah, I just can't. This is not getting old for me at all. And I've been EDCing this nonstop for so many weeks now. And it's like the first time. It's like I just opened it out of the box. That's how good it still feels for me. I'm sure it might get old at some point, but I mean, there's very few knives out there that are gravity knives like this one that provide the same type of feel, the same type of fidgetability, if you will, in such a unique and such a nice way with such great acoustics to it. So the pocket clip is not meant to be for left carry. That is one thing, maybe a sunk for this knife. But yeah, you could use it with your left hand if you wanted to. Obviously my left hand, as you know in the channel, isn't as highly trained. It's not my dominant hand, and I'm getting it done. The only thing that might be an issue is even gripping it, it feels good and natural on my left hand. Of course, you maybe have to turn the knife 180 just to be able to do the lock and unlock with your thumb if you were using your left hand. But that, along with the pocket clip situation not being reversible, are probably a gripe. But if you're a lefty, don't let that leave you out of the equation. You can still experience this knife. You can do just about everything, right? As I shall demonstrate here one last time. Unlock, turn, there you go. Open, close, turn, 180, lock. So in conclusion, would I recommend this knife? Would I recommend this gravity knife? So first of all, a couple of things that you need to do. The first thing I will say is be very, very familiar with your local laws, your local knife laws. Obviously, one thing you want to know for sure is it going to be legal for you to own in your state? I can think of maybe California right off the bat, where I know gravity knives are not legal whatsoever, even to own. I live in Florida, so you can own these and also carry them as well, which is pretty nice. So definitely do your homework there. The least thing you would want to do is you wouldn't want to buy a knife that you're not able to carry, or you would be considered illegal to own. Yeah, it is a gravity knife. It is considered illegal in a lot of places, so do your research as far as that goes. So that being said, let's say you do live somewhere where it is legal to own, illegal to carry, and if that's the case, if you're able to check those boxes, I want to say yes, you should definitely give this guy a try. If you have the OG, you already know what the gravity knife experience is all about. I want to say maybe upgrading or getting the lockable version will definitely make it so you could EDC this knife more often. Pocket clip and the lockability, right, being able to lock it shut, lock it open, definitely adds a lot of more functionality and day-to-day carryability to it. And I would recommend this guy ultimately. Yes, I would definitely recommend this guy. I think this guy is very, very unique in its own way. Like I mentioned earlier, there are so very few knives out there offering what this guy brings to the table. Gravity knives that I've seen, there are some out there, but not as many are executed in such an excellent way, done so well, so fidget friendly, such great acoustics with such attention to detail. I mean, again, Reate nailed this locking mechanism. It feels so premium. It feels so satisfying just to lock and unlock this guy. The quality overall, I can see that this is a well-made knife. There aren't any inconsistencies or things like that, things out of place, except that pocket clip, like I mentioned earlier, feels a little generic. But yeah, other than that, which I have kind of gotten over, to be honest, at this point, everything else is so good about this guy. It is, yeah, definitely up there, definitely worth the purchase. And yeah, this is gonna be a keeper for a lifetime, this guy right here. Hopefully I don't change my mind at any point later on, but I don't see myself getting rid of this knife anytime soon. That's how good it is. It adds a whole different experience to my overall knife collection that other knives are just not able to provide. That is this guy right there. So I could go on and talk about this guy for days, right? We could really go on. I'm trying to make sure this video is not additionally or necessarily long or longer than it needs to, but yeah, there's so much going on with this guy that I'm so in love with. Reate, please, yes, keep innovating, keep making great knives like this one. But I mean, I feel like unique knives like these, very interesting and good looking designs like this one, I mean, these are one in a million. So if you have the ability to get your hand in one of these guys, I say go for it, right? Go for it. It would definitely be worth it. But again, do your research. Don't just watch my review. Check out other reviews on this guy on YouTube as well before you make your final decision. I'm sold. I'm so happy with mine. I can't begin to explain. If I miss anything, by the way, let me know in the comments any questions, concerns that you may have about this guy. Let me know any questions that I may have missed or perhaps I didn't answer on this video. Again, I'm trying to keep it short, not too long. Otherwise, I could be rambling here for hours. So if you made it this far, guys, you are the real MVP. Chances are the review on the Boker strike right here, the Warhawk strike from Boker, chances are the review on this guy is going to be live on the channel. If that is the case, I'm going to go ahead and put a card right here for you guys to check that out next. Thank you all for hanging out with me during this time. I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.